Hello friend, and welcome back. In this lesson, we are going to look at the topic structure and function of plant and animal cells. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to do the following. 1. Identify the basic parts of a plant and animal cell as seen under the light microscope. 2. Identify the basic parts of a plant and animal cell as seen under an electron microscope. 3. Describe the function of cell organelles. 4. Compare and contrast plant and animal cells. Let us get started. Basic parts of a plant cell as seen under the light microscope. When you view a plant cell under the light microscope, you will observe the following structures: the cell wall, the cell membrane, the cytoplasm, the nucleus, the sap vacuole, the tonoplast, and lastly, the chloroplast. Basic parts of an animal cell as seen under the light microscope. When you view an animal cell under the light microscope, you will observe the following structures: the cell membrane, the cytoplasm, and the nucleus. Basic parts of a plant cell as seen under the electron microscope. When you view a plant cell under the electron microscope, you will observe the following: the cell wall, the cell membrane, the cytoplasm, the nucleus, the nuclear membrane, nuclear pore, the nucleolus, the sap vacuole, the tonoplast, chloroplast, mitochondrion, Golgi body, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, rough endoplasmic reticulum, ribosome, and the lysosome. Basic parts of an animal cell as seen under the electron microscope. When you view an animal cell under the electron microscope, you will observe the following: the cell membrane, the cytoplasm, the vacuole, the nucleus, the nuclear pore, nucleolus, the nuclear membrane, Golgi apparatus, secretory vesicle, rough endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, pinocytic vesicle, centriole, lysosome, and the mitochondrion. Note that the structures found suspended within the cytoplasm of a plant or animal cell are known as organelles, implying small organs. Now let us discuss the function of the identified cell organelles. The cell wall. A cell wall is present in plant cells but absent in animal cells. It is made of a chemical substance called cellulose. It encloses the contents of a plant cell. It thus protects the inner parts of the cell. It is rigid and hence gives the cell a fixed shape. It allows materials like water and solutes to pass through but resists swelling and bursting of the cell. The cell membrane. The following illustration shows the main parts of the cell membrane. These include glycoprotein, lipid bilayer, peripheral protein, channel protein, integral protein, cholesterol, glycolipid, carbohydrate, and globular protein. The cell membrane is also known as the plasma membrane or plasmalemma. It encloses the cell contents. The cell membrane has pores that selectively allow materials into and out of the cell. It is thus said to be semi-permeable. This way, the cell membrane allows entry of oxygen and food materials and exit of waste materials. It also prevents entry of unnecessary substances. As already mentioned, the cell membrane is made of a protein bilipid layer. In other words, there is a protein layer overlapping with a double layer of phospholipids, as shown in the preceding diagram. The nucleus. The nucleus is the largest organ in a cell. The nucleus is enclosed by a double-unit nuclear membrane. The membrane has pores called nuclear pores. It consists of a gel-like matrix known as nuclear sap or nucleoplasm. The nucleoplasm houses the nucleolus and the chromatin material. The chromatin material is made of a chemical substance called DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA is the genetic material of the cell. It is the basic unit of cellular activities. In other words, the nucleus controls all the activities of a cell. The nucleolus. The nucleolus is located within the nucleus. It is responsible for the manufacture of ribosomes. The cytoplasm. This is the part of a cell in which all the cell organelles are suspended. The ribosomes. Ribosomes are spherical in shape. Some are scattered within the cytoplasm, while others are attached to the surface of the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Ribosomes constitute the site for protein synthesis. The lysosomes. Lysosomes are dark, spherical, and sac-like in appearance. They contain lytic enzymes that destroy worn-out organelles. The lytic enzymes can also digest carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins. The same enzymes can also digest old and damaged cells. The mitochondria. Mitochondria are sausage-shaped organelles suspended in the cell cytoplasm. They are made of a double membrane. The interior part of a mitochondrion is filled with a gel-like matrix. The inner membrane is highly folded to form structures called cristae. On the surface of the cristae are respiratory enzymes. These enzymes are responsible for carrying out respiration in the cell. The Golgi body or Golgi apparatus. The Golgi apparatus appears as stacks of membrane-bound flattened vesicles. They lie close to the cell membrane. So what is the role of Golgi bodies? They receive certain materials from the endoplasmic reticulum and package them into secretory vesicles. These vesicles then move near the cell membrane and fuse with it. It then discharges its contents to the external environment. This process is known as exocytosis. The endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum organelle is comprised of a system of parallel flattened cavities and tubes lined with a membrane. They are of two kinds, namely, rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. The rough endoplasmic reticulum has ribosomes attached on its surface. The role of the rough endoplasmic reticulum is to package and transport proteins synthesized by the ribosomes to other parts of the cell. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum does not have ribosomes on its surface. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum is involved in the synthesis of various kinds of lipids. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum is also involved in the breakdown of foreign chemicals such as drugs. The vacuole. The vacuole is a fluid-filled sac that varies in size depending on the type of cell we are dealing with. Plant cells have a large centralized vacuole, while animal cells have a small-sized vacuole that is less prominent. In plant cells, the vacuole is surrounded by a membrane called a tonoplast. Some of the substances present in the fluid-filled vacuole include dissolved sugars, ions, and waste products. These constitute the cell sap. The cell sap plays a role in determining the osmotic properties of the cell. In certain unicellular organisms, like amoeba, the vacuole is for storing food and excreting excess water and mineral salts. The centrioles. The centrioles appear as rod-like structures just above the nuclear membrane. They play a role in cell division in animal cells. They form spindle fibers onto which chromosomes attach during the anaphase stage. They are also responsible for cilia formation in unicellular organisms such as paramecium. They are also involved in the formation of the flagellum in unicellular organisms such as euglena. The chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are oval-shaped structures responsible for carrying out photosynthesis. They have a double membrane, an inner and outer membrane. They have a chemical pigment known as chlorophyll, whose work is to trap light needed for photosynthesis. We wind up this lesson by highlighting the differences between a plant and animal cell. 1. Animal cells are small in size, while plant cells are usually large in size. 2. Animal cells are irregular in shape, while plant cells are regular in shape. 3. Animal cells do not have a cell wall, while plant cells have a cellulose cell wall. 4. Animal cells lack a vacuole, but when present, it is usually small and temporary, while plant cells have a large vacuole. 5. Animal cells store glycogen and fats, while plant cells store starch, oils, and proteins. 6. Animal cells have centrioles, while plant cells do not have centrioles. 7. Animal cells lack chloroplasts, while plant cells have chloroplasts. 8. In animal cells, the cytoplasm occupies most space in the cell, with the nucleus being centrally placed. On the other hand, in plant cells, the cytoplasm and nucleus are usually located towards the periphery. This discussion on the differences between plant and animal cells brings us to the end of this lesson. I hope this is helpful. In the next lesson, we shall look at the topic: cell specialization, tissues, organs and organ systems. Please click the subscribe button to support our channel in disseminating more content like this. Also, click the notification bell to receive alerts whenever we upload new videos. Thank you for your time.